Peace, big love, big blessings, even bigger living, everything that come with it and everything in between. You are tuned into Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. It's just a conversation. And if you've been tuned in, then you know Thinking Out Loud is a space of empathy, accountability, transparency, candidacy, leveling up where we at.
All of
We
that.
reflect on where we've been and just sharing who we are with the world around us. Enough of all that. I got a special guest today. All guests are special.
All of them. That part.
But I got a special guest today. This man is a trailblazer, hip hop artist, songwriter, producer, ambassador for Plain and Swearing, and the grown man with the green backpack.
Yeah.
He is a legend. Where I'm from, I say he is the GOAT. Today I got XV.
Hey.
What's up, family?
It's been too long.
It's been
too long. You know how we've been rocking for years.
This is the first time we on mic together.
Yeah, forever.
Crazy.
Forever.
It's crazy.
But you know, it's awesome because you found your footing in a lane that I feel like you've always been in, with the conversations with artists, with the city, with people.
100%.
And I feel like it's awesome that not only are you putting this out there, but you're using your talent in those conversations with others, bro. So salute to you.
I appreciate that.
Real talk.
So you know the Virgo with me gonna throw confidence all the way back at y'all. I don't know how to.
It's natural. Y'all don't know how to take on. Yeah, that y'all don't know how to take on.
But listen, the question I love to spark every conversation on Thinking Out Loud with X is, how is your spirit?
Man, my spirit is good, man. You know, I'm a Cancer, so as the holidays come up, it's one of my favorite times because it creates, you know, memories. It creates connections with others, and it's of course family focused. So this is my favorite time of the year. So my spirit is just like, my album's out, my business is thriving, my job is thriving. This year, you know, especially when the holidays come at the end of the year, and you feel like kind of like, what haven't you done this year that you wanted to do? What have you done this year that you accomplished that you're proud of? It's like almost like that audit, that personal audit with yourself. And I love this time of the year, especially November, because it's when cracking down. So and this is gonna probably come out later, but you know, as this time, you know, is in effect, it's like one of my favorite times, just because I get to do that personal accounting. You know what I mean? So I love it.
So Thanksgiving almost has like a different meaning for you.
All the way. You know, I have a brother, and one of my brothers live in Seattle. My other brother lives in Las Vegas. You know, my brother that lives here at Wichita lives on literally the other side of Wichita, which isn't easy to do, but he did it. He went on like past Mays. And so I barely get to see him. So it's awesome because Thanksgiving gets to bring that camaraderie, but then also even with your friends, the friends that you haven't got to catch up with since the summer. You know what I mean? Things got crazy after the kids went back to school. You know how it goes.
Come on.
You know how it goes. So I love it because it just allows reconnection.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
We're gonna bounce all over the place because we're just thinking out loud.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
And as you talk about that connection, and one of the things I love to talk to you about, and I have a habit now of doing it to people. Like, what's your sign?
Oh, I love that.
Right.
I love that.
A zodiac.
Yes.
And in corporate spaces, you do like your Myers-Briggs, your Berkman,
all of that.
Yeah. All the personality tests.
Yeah, it's funny because I never knew that until my drummer Daniel told me about it. Like, of course, I've been in astrology for about 13, 14 years. And in the scope of my artistry, that's a short amount of time. I wish I was rapping for 13, 14 years at this point. Like, I've been rapping, you know, for over 20 plus years, and astrology for maybe half of that, right? And so it's interesting because my DJ and my drummer, when they saw me get into this, they already, you know, coming from corporate spaces and DJing and playing music in corporate spaces, they've been asked that because it's an artist thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because personality, diving deep, all of that is part of being a creative. 100%. You know what I mean? Some people can use that and use it in the corporate world of like connecting and bridge building and icebreakers, but it still is about connection. You know what I mean? And so I love it because, you know, when in this space that we're in, it creates a camaraderie that is unseen, but it's right there. Kind of like when you're in line with somebody and somebody hears your accent, they, where are you from? You from New Jersey? It's like, yeah, what part? I'm from North Bergen. And they're like, oh man, I'm from like Hiawatha, bro. And there's a connection that spurs from that like thought in that conversation. And so I love it because it creates this connection that breaks the barriers of race, breaks the barriers of politics, it breaks the barriers of male, female genders. It breaks all of those barriers and just brings us down to like almost like the bones.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so
100%.
it's always good to ask that question. It's always good to ask. I feel like that question, you know, especially in 2024, it makes people go, oh God, or it makes people go, are you into that? But there's no gray area. It's, oh God, or oh, you're into that. And I love it because no matter what, when it comes to me, you're gonna learn something. Period. When it comes to the astrology, I learned it so magnificently and so authentically that I feel like it's easy for me to talk about it with others who don't know it authentically. There's the magic in it. So it's easy for me.
It's funny, the connection and how easy it is, because when I do bring it up to people, they're like, yeah, and I had a conversation with XV. And I'm like, yeah, it's ill that we planted these seeds.
You know it. Yes.
I've yet to see like the dynamics of astrology fail.
Yes. That's what I mean. I have never seen it. Like even when somebody is like a Leo and they're like, yo, that shit is stupid, wonky, crazy. I'm not into that. Don't ask me what time I was born. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. That tracks because of this. And you probably like this. And you're probably this type of personality because that fits with the type of archetype that goes with your sign. So you're not telling me nothing I'm surprised by.
Word.
You know what I mean? You ain't telling me nothing I'm surprised by. It was written.
Yeah.
As above, so below.
100%.
That's in the stars. So, hey, it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, just like our complexion comes from the stars. It comes from you know, the ethereal. And that comes from like our what is it that's pumping the pigment into our system. I know somebody get in the comments and inform the world what I'm talking about. Pineal gland. I got it. Pineal gland.
Okay.
Your pineal gland is pumping that ethereal melanin.
Word.
You know what I mean? That's ethereal. That is in the stars. Melanin is actually the darkness in the stars. That's melanin. And words. All of that science is fire to me. Fire to me for someone who don't know nothing about no science.
The illest part though is I could sit here and just listen.
Yeah.
Because I love to learn things. Like I love to deep dive into like the way things work.
Me too. And I feel like that's one thing that's dope about music, art, movies, just cultures is that you're able to sit back and just learn. You know what I mean? You're able to go to a city that you're never from and you can just listen. You don't got just listen. Just talk to people and listen, and you can learn so much because it's something that you don't know. And I love worlds like that. That's why I love watching, you know, documentaries. That's why I love watching podcasts. It's giving you the opportunity to shut up and listen.
100%.
So that's a talent.
You talk about worlds though, in creating the world. Like I said, we just gonna bounce.
You know it. You know it.
So when it comes to creating, I'm sure that the zodiac has some influence on how you create.
All the way.
But then we talk about creating worlds. I think you are one of the dopest world creators that I know in real life.
Bro, thank you.
Like,
I honor it. You have to, as a creator, you have to.
You pulled up to the crib and we chopped one time and we was just chopping, and from there you was like, universe.
Yeah.
Like that was the route I should have taken, right? And so I think that's a testament. But then I listened to like the blog Era is Dead. And keep me honest, because it's your work that you create, right? I feel like this is one of the first in a long time, maybe, bodies of work that you haven't created a world, but you letting people into your world.
Mine. There you go. Yeah, it's the first time in a long time. And I think that's what made this whole record different than anything that I've dropped from soil, seeds, roots, That was a world building of me like creating a garden. Um, the Do It the Strap Back Dad hat was me world building. Even like there's certain things in the Do It the Strap Back Dad hat that I'm going to run back and tell people more about because it genuinely is written like a script. I made that album as a story of my break, right? But nobody would catch that it literally there's certain segments of a script. There's a dark side of the dark passenger, the dark side of the character that they go through. That like if you watch any movie, they win, they lose, they win, they go through this dark side when they lose, and then they have the ultimate win, act 3. 3 acts, 12 to 15 scenes. That's what most movies are. And I or 12 to 15 plot points. And I did that with my album. That world building, I came from, college dropout. I came from the cool. You feel me? I came from even In Search Of by Nerd, like hearing these albums that are, when I heard them, I left Wichita, I left Kansas, and I went into not New York. I didn't go into Philly or go into LA. I went into their world that they built. And I love that because it's the ultimate like testament to a creative.
100%.
But when you tear the walls down and instead of building a world, you just say, come into this space. Just my story.
Yeah.
You feel me? When you do that, I feel like it makes it so much, especially when you built so many different worlds. They're like, okay, we've got all these worlds, but what is in your heart? What is in
100%.
your spirit? That's what I want to know now. And that's what this album, Blog Era is Dead, really is. It's a look into, like the Do It the Strap Back Dad hat is a look into the story of the past, like 5 to 10 years. This album is a look into the like mind and the heart of the past 5 to 10 years, from Seven losing his mom and dad on the come up, me and Seven reconnecting and being men about reconnecting. You know what I mean? Like I say at the end on the song Treasure Chest, I say me and Seven turned 7 days into 7 years because we could have made a call with each other for the whole year that we didn't talk. Not even a year. We didn't talk for 7 years. You know what I mean? For that whole time, all we had to do is like call each other. Literally, just make a call.
Yeah.
The first time when we started beefing, what happened was when we stopped talking, we just stopped talking. There was no argument. There was no beef. It was I stopped calling him. He stopped calling me.
Yeah.
And we went a whole year where we didn't reach out anymore. The next year, we're like, all right, so that's what it is. Second year, third year, fourth year. So think about like, me and Seven, we were, best friends,
Like
making
brothers.
music, like brothers, for real. We found our lane together. We found ourselves together. So there was this camaraderie. And my song Shared Trauma is even a proof of that. Because me and Seven.
Can I pause you right there quick? Shared trauma?
Yo.
Bro, I don't write down a lot of questions I'm thinking out. Just like
go on.
Research.
Yeah, right? That's it.
But listening to Shared Trauma, I played that one back, and I got to join Word to Life where I'm spilling to my wife, my mother, my kids, right?
I know that.
And it gave me that feeling.
Yeah.
Like
writing straight from the heart. That was my heart. That was the last song I wrote, other than Keep Your Grin Up, which comes right after Shared Trauma. Shared Trauma, we had the beat for maybe like a year, and I couldn't write it. I couldn't write, like no lie. I couldn't write it. I would write the first verse, scrap it. Write the first verse again, scrap it. I finally finished the first verse, but I couldn't write the second verse.
Trying to find the right words?
Yeah, it was trying to find the right words, trying to find the right approach to sharing these traumas, because I remember talking to Seven about it, and I made the first version I made almost talked about my traumas I went through with my wife, mine, but it wasn't our shared traumas. And he was like, man, that's one thing that's good about Seven that we have always had a balance and power of, is he's always pushed me. So he was like, man, that's not what I was referring to. I wasn't referring to that kind of shared trauma. I was referring to like the traumas that you all went together. Think about it like this. And he said this is real talk. He said, think about the traumas that if you and your wife broke up and you were sitting at a table with someone else, you would go, you haven't been through this with me. You haven't been through this with me. You haven't been through this with me. So it's going to be kind of hard for you to come into the world that I'm in and get to where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Being like someone who's coming straight from like just ground zero, level zero. And you know,
you weren't with me as my world was built.
Yes, you weren't with me.
Yeah.
And so same thing with me and Seven. You know, there are certain things that me and Seven went through, like when, you know, my son was born, he was born a twin. When his twin brother passed away, I was in LA. And so I was in LA. It was unsuspected. So we didn't know that he was going to get sick. And he got sick out of nowhere, passed away from almost like an internal organ failure, pretty much.
Forever.
And yeah, man, thank you. And when that happened, I'm in LA at a movie theater with Seven at Cinerama. And I'll never forget it. Like getting that call and being like, yo, I don't want to watch this movie. You want to go out? We're watching Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I like want to go out to the car. We went out to the car and cried together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those kind of moments when me and him weren't friends for years, you know, it creates that bitterness. Like, bro, you were with me through this. Like, you.
Yeah. That
You know
would be
what I
my
mean?
next, like somebody that you share trauma with, like as men.
Yeah.
How does it get to that point where it's like, yo, we've created so much that we've shared life with each other? Like, how does it get to that point of like, yo, I ain't gonna answer? Pride?
Bro, what? Pride, ego. It was ego and pride on both sides. It was definitely ego on my side and pride on Seven's side. And then as the time went on, you feel validated in your ego and validated in your pride. You feel me? Because you're like, yo, Kim, now I'm winning. Kim, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. You start feeling validated in it.
Yeah.
But then certain things happen. It's just like a relationship. Like you break up with your girl and you're like, man, her. She wasn't nothing. Man, she didn't even do this. She didn't even do that. And then time goes and you get some perspective and you start to reflect. And you're like, man, I miss when she used to like wake me up. Even when she woke me up mad, I miss her waking me up because now I'm waking up alone. I miss when she called me like mad, like wondering where I'm at. And now nobody hitting me wondering where I'm at. Or the one I want to hit me ain't wondering where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I think me and him went through that. Like me and Seven's relationship, we've always related it to Superbad. Remember Superbad? How Michael Cera and Jonah Hill were? And it was kind of like funny how buddy they were. But it was like, you're gonna do that without me? But I was gonna go to college with you. And it's almost like you know, we'll still talk. And you're like, but you're gonna go get a girlfriend? And like it's like funny how corny that y'all's like masculine relationship is.
That's the beauty in it, though.
The beauty
it's just like that's when it's real.
I agree.
Because it's rooted in something outside of like
I agree.
Money, hoes, cars, and
there
clothes.
We go. And that's hard to get in the music industry.
Word.
Hard as fuck. I think it's why Jay-Z still hangs up with Tata. It's why you know, Kanye keeps GLC and Consequence around, because there's this, you know, shared trauma, this understanding of, man, you understand who I truly am. I can yell, I can cry, I can be hype, and all of that you'll accept as my friend.
You know what I mean? My bullshit.
Yeah, you see through my bullshit. Even as a creative, you see through all of it. You don't see Kanye, you don't see Jay-Z, you see Sean. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like Kanye became Ye, because he wanted to become Kanye to the people that he loves. You know what I mean? And he became Ye.
Like that separation.
Yes, that separation of artists. You know what I mean? It's why I've always been X.
Okay.
I've always been XV. Like people, they'll get to know Donovan and be like, what do you want me to call you? And I'll always be like, call me XV.
So when I was queuing up his episode, I'm like, am I gonna call him? Because knowing you in real life, right?
Like, you know what I mean?
Donovan, yeah, like no X.
Yep.
Let me ask you this. So we talk. bouncing back a little bit. So the world building piece compared to the blog area is dead. Which is more like consciously creative for you? Is it more conscious to like dig deep?
Nah, it's not. I feel like I don't think it's more conscious. I think it's more reflective.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's reflective. While I think conscious is sometimes, you know, when it comes to world building as a creative, I think it's when you're being conscious of just, I feel like being conscious is knowing the direction. But this just might be me being a Cancer. I love direction and I thrive off of it. But I am more aware, because that's what consciousness is. I'm more aware of what I'm trying to do. While when you're just like going in, it's like, you know, a therapy session.
100%.
It's just the work is done on your end, and you literally have to take the shovel yourself and start digging. And there's nothing about building in it. It's about going deep. And so you're not, it's not
the irony. There's no building in it. It's almost destructive.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
It's way more destructive because you're going to have to put everything back after you finish this. And bro, that's why when I say, let's go back, when I say shared trauma was hard to write, that's why. Because when I was writing it, a lot of the times, especially when you're in a relationship that's having ups and downs, you're kind of like, this ain't where I'm at right now. I don't know how to, I might say this the wrong way right now with how I feel right now, with what I'm going through right now. I might not say this the right way. And it took time for me to get to the point. In fact, is 316 helped me write that hook. I couldn't come up with the hook. I finished the verses finally, but that's how much how much it took out of me. I was like, all right, the verses are done. Bro, when I say we sent that hook to easily 20 singers. Easily. Not this hook that I sang, but just the song without a hook. We sent it to Joyce Rice. We sent it to huge singers, small singers. No singer could write to it. Everyone would write me back like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction to go. I'm not joking. Everyone, which got to the point where it was like, this might be something for you to write. This might be something for you. So I played it for Iz, and I was like, man, I'm stuck. I'm working on his album. And I'm like, I'm stuck on this one record. I just got to get the album done. Because he'll always be like, how's the album going, bro? And I'm like, man, I'm stuck on one more song. And he's like, let me hear it. And I let him hear it. And he literally was like, I think you just should say, forgive me. Like, I think you should say, forgive me. Like, you should be like you should just ask for forgiveness. Forgive me. And I did that hook right there. And I was like, what do you think of that? He was like.
And that's a double entendre. Forgive, you talking to yourself, forgive me.
Go. That's what I loved. I said, because you got to forgive yourself. First, before you can, and that's where everything, that's when, like, I just got chills right now. That's when everything connected for me. I was like, damn, this is genuinely the direction I wanted to take with this record, because it wasn't about me making a record to like, not only tell a story, but like to appease anything. It wasn't a record like that. It was really a record where I was like, in the scope of my story, that was essential, because that is one of those parts that when you talk about digging deep, that's like, I'm digging, finding myself. So for anybody digging, Karan Butler digging, Death of an Artist, even Death of an Artist, I tell the story of me going through the major deal, and I tell the story of Seven going through an independent deal. All of that was digging. But once I got to shared trauma, it was like hitting like the floor, and it's like, do I keep going? And it's like, yeah, keep going. That's hard, but just keep digging. And when I got there, I was like, damn, this is exactly what I needed to have this on the album. We couldn't finish the album without that song.
So this was the last. Was this the last song?
Last song. Yeah.
Was kind of think when I did Word to Life, as much as when I did the whole Shonda Vice albums, it was like so like pouring. So I couldn't write a song for a couple months afterwards.
No shit.
I felt like I
see. That's why I was everything. Yeah. That's why I was good. It was my last record. Where I couldn't. I wrote no other records. I had to be the last scene of the album. Treasure Chest was done. All the other songs that like led up to that ending were done. But I just know I'm like, man, we can't drop a new album telling the story of the blog era without me telling the story of this. I got married in 2013. The blog era died in about 2013, 14. So when that died, this is also the story of the relationship that I was going through and all the things that I had to like deal with in the shared trauma of me losing my house, me losing my deal, me stop touring, me having miscarriages. Like the story of all of that in one song, I was like, if I can do this and I can get this out, I won't have to double back anymore on this. I won't have to revisit this anymore. I was like, I need a song cry. I need
And that's
a moment. Yeah.
Well, let me ask this, because when I listened to the album a few times.
Good.
I hate that when I pulled up to the release party, I missed the performance and the breaking down.
But I love it. I love it. But we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do another one. And
I'm here, easy.
I got you.
The where hip hop is at now, like I don't want to say adult contemporary hip hop, but damn near like
all the way.
We got like the 444.
Yes.
Mr. Morale.
Even the LL Cool J Force album.
Yeah.
The Tribe Called Quest album. All of those albums have so much depth.
Yes.
Adult contemporary. Like mature hip hop.
Do you know feel like, and I'm out of order on my thought process now because I got to get back to the blog era being dead, but do you feel like, okay, I'm here now, like in that adult contemporary space of
man, I'm making a project right now. And it's just amazing to be able to be thinking in the thought of like MF Doom and be thinking in the thought of like you said, Jay-Z 444. I feel like blog era is dead is definitely like my 444. Okay. Where Jay was going with that album as far as themes, concepts, even having the one producer, No ID, did that whole project.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like that made me go like, I don't think I'll ever do another like multi-producer album ever again. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I probably won't. Just because that's why I say with adult contemporary like hip hop coming in, it like the Force is all produced by, and that's LL Cool J's new album. Mm-hmm. That album is all produced by Q-Tip.
100%.
You feel me? And so I think that's the Doggy Style. I mean, not Doggy Style, Missionary. Yeah, coming out.
Tyler's new joint.
Tyler's new joint. Yeah. All of these have so much depth. So much depth that I'm like, it has to be the director and the actor. Like when a seasoned actor, a George Clooney, a Denzel Washington goes and works with a Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Denzel and Spike Lee, Ryan Coogler, and
there you go.
Michael B.
Jordan.
Yeah.
That
wavelength.
That 1-2 punch. Yes. The wavelength, the connection of creatives and the mindset of two creatives coming together. I don't think it ever loses. I'm doing a brand new album with Is 316 because of
fire.
Yeah. That's going. I'm telling you though, like nobody knows my production game. It's crazy. Yeah. Like I've been producing since I was, 15 years. I started producing when I started rapping. I was literally Kanye West.
Wow.
You feel me? I was literally like the only thing that stepped me back from turning into Tyler was 7.
That's stepping in and covering that piece.
Literally, he told me, he came in the picture when me and him met. I was still producing. I produced my album Complex that he did. That's our first album together. After we finished that album, he was like, I don't think you should produce for yourself no more. Not because you're not dope. You should still make beats, but I think like you should focus on being a lyricist, focus on being a rapper, focus on getting better with your craft. Because all I focus on is the production. You focus on the music. We come together. Well, so now look, Michael B. Jordan's directing. You feel me?
Yeah.
Where do you think he learned that? From a Ryan Coogler, having a Ryan Coogler as his partner. So 7 definitely sharpens my sword. I know I'll never, just like Michael B. Jordan knows, I'm not going to be Ryan Coogler. I'm going to be Michael B. Jordan. But I'm going to have these peers that I can, these Timbalands, these Pharrells that I can call and be like, yo, add an 808 to this. Add a synth line to this. And having 7 to do that, man,
changes the game.
I can't wait.
You mentioned Complex, and I'd be remiss to try to like name all the projects during the blog era, right?
Exactly.
But with this project, the blog era is dead. bro, what do you think killed the blog era? Because I'm like as a fan and as an artist, right, from that blog era, right? Like, and I think maybe it was a little bit more gatekeeping, but in retrospect,
Yeah,
I kind of appreciated that.
I loved
Right.
it.
Do
Loved
you
it.
think it was the artist? You think it was the media? Do you think it was access?
It was two things.
Okay.
It was the artists getting bigger. So
Okay.
they outgrew the blog era. So when the blog era is dead, officially happened, it was probably like 2014 when like officially ended. Okay. And that's because SoundCloud came in. I say on the first, on July 26th, I say, watched it go up into the SoundCloud. When the blog era died, it went up into the SoundClouds. You know what I mean? And I say, watch it go up into the SoundClouds, kids rolling loud, and it's all about clout now. And so Rolling Loud, SoundCloud, and clout. Those three shifts had nothing to do with blog era. That wasn't what the blog era was built on. So once music changed into, clout, and that's where you get the Tekashi 6ix9ines coming in the game. You feel me? That's where you get the DJ Academics. Academics would never survive in the blog era because the blog era was based on like fanaticism. It was based on culture. It was very much hip hop culture based.
I missed the blog.
That's why, because you had Joe Budden, you had Crooked Eye dropping a song every day. You had Mickey Fax, and you had Wiz Khalifa.
100%.
You feel me? I feel like it was very well rounded in a way that hip hop hasn't been in years. I mean, very well rounded. And I think what happened was Wiz Khalifa graduated, Big Sean graduated, J. Cole graduated, Kendrick graduated, Drake graduated, Nicki graduated. All of them graduated from the blog era. And if that was a school, once they all graduated, after that, it was this new class. And that new class, the blog era, the school wasn't for them. They needed to make a brand new school of thought. And that school of thought was SoundCloud, Rolling Loud, and then streaming. Streaming changed everything. So
what's the last album you bought?
The last album I purchased.
It's probably tricky to ask you that.
Purchased?
Like the CD, like when it's storing copy.
Oh, the last one I remember going to the CD and buying was Lasers by Lupe Fiasco. 2012. I remember because I had or 2011, I had a picture on my Instagram of me holding it like this on tour. The CD was like Lasers out, crazy. I just got this. That was the last CD I probably, like the last new album I went out and purchased. Now I'll still go get a tape. Don't hold.
For sure.
I will. Sure. I went and got the All That soundtrack for no reason. I went and bought the Batman. Like I'll go buy like nostalgic CDs that I remember buying in the store, and I want to like I see it in like a pawn shop, or I'll see it in a thrift store. I'll be like, damn, $4. Yeah, I'll buy this. I'll spend the $4 just for the memory of remembering what it was like to scan this, to put the CD, to go through the credit
and all of that. You know what's ill, and I'm gonna get you back to your train of thought on what killed the blog era. But I'm mad because a CD that I cannot find on streaming. I don't know if you remember the WWF Aggression joint.
What?
I'm pissed because I cannot find it.
With Method Man and all them rapping on it. Yeah, Run DMC. What?
Crazy.
Used to play the shit.
Listen, bro.
Out of that project.
Come on.
What? That's crazy.
My mom went there.
That's crazy. The Undertaker theme, the Kane theme.
Come on.
You just took me back because I can hear it playing in my head. Whoa. That's kind of like the Scream soundtrack for me. Like, I don't know if you remember with Master P on it. Scream. 100%. I was like, that's crazy that Master P's on the Scream 2.
Yeah.
On the Scream 2 soundtrack.
My mom had that CD.
But that's what I mean is like, I remember buying these CDs and hip hop coming into this world that was like almost like unknown to happen. You know, Jay-Z doing the Linkin Park project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that. I miss that. And so it's interesting you say that because that era it's like, you know, a rapper dropping the discography era is dead, because that's what the era I came from. Basically, like having that big black book, the CDs in the joint. Man, Freddie Ha had the crazy one. I'm talking G Unit, 1 page, shoom, Rockefeller, 1 page, boom. Dipset, 1 page, boom.
Yeah.
Literally, like you could go through the rap catalog back in the day and be like, what do I want? Do I want the South? I got Jeezy, Young Buck, boom, ooh.
And it's before burning CDs even.
It's before burning CDs.
Like if you loved him,
Man,
he was copping that
my
album.
burning CDs, this was crazy. That's when the mixtapes came out. The mixtape era
100%.
came. And so like I said, I think that what happens is like the mixtape era, the artists from that, the Dipsets, they started going platinum. So they didn't need the mixtape era no more.
Yeah.
The blog era artists started going platinum. They didn't need to drop no fucking cushion orange juice anymore. And it also didn't make any sense anymore because, you know, when I was on Warner Brothers, that was probably the biggest problem is I got signed as the blog era was ending. And so I got signed in 2010. The blog era ends 4 years later. As I'm basically going through my deal, Big Sean, all of them are all leveling up, and I'm basically just starting.
Was it ill? Like, I think outside of maybe Wiz, I think a couple things to it. So a lot of blog era artists like had a very similar path if you weren't signed to an artist.
Yep.
So I think
Wiz was the biggest.
Wiz the biggest.
The biggest.
But he wasn't signed to an artist, right?
He wasn't signed to no artist. I'm saying he's the biggest one that wasn't.
That wasn't.
Yeah, there wasn't many. Kendrick had Dre.
Big Sean.
Big Sean had Kanye. Nicki had Lil Wayne. J. Cole had Jay-Z.
And they all considered in like the top 5 of that.
Yep.
Do you think it would be different if you had signed to an artist?
I tell people that all the time. It's great when you say that. I tell people, I have probably emails of me emailing my manager, emailing Warner, emailing, like one of my biggest like regrets, not knowing astrology. You know, I'm a Cancer. Cancers are emotional. When people say cancers are emotional, Cancer men aren't emotional in a way of like, we're crying all the time.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Everything is on the sleeve.
Everything. And so that's what emotional, like people be like, Dami, you are emotional. And they're like, because when you're happy, you're super happy. When you're sad, you're super sad. When you're, and a lot of people won't see me super sad because so emotional that like it's extremes.
Okay.
You feel me? And so anger is like my go-to. I love anger. Anger is my go-to.
And like inside out right now.
Yeah, yes. That's my go-to guy. And then I had, you know, sadness and fear and rage, all of those different emotions in me, but like joy. But what I realized is that a lot of times during that 10-year on Warner, I showcased, I won't say jealousy, but I showcased all of my emotions. And as an artist, especially a signed artist who didn't have not having that bigger artist, I didn't have a gate between me and the label, between me and the managers. So they're only getting me. They're not able to call Jay or call Kanye and be like, Kanye, yo, what are we doing with Big Sean? Because Def Jam could do that.
Word.
Def Jam could do that with Big Sean. And not to say any of their paths were easier.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Just very, very different. And that's why I highlight Wiz. That's why I highlight Mac Miller. That's why I highlight Freddie Gibbs. Even Freddie Gibbs had Jeezy, but he didn't blow up having Jeezy.
I think Big Crit,
he didn't have anyone. And not only that, but Big Crit from Mississippi. Wiz from Pittsburgh. These are places who doesn't even have a big name.
Yeah, or even like a hip-hop infrastructure.
No infrastructure. Well, so not only do they not have a big name, but they also did it from a place that isn't known. Gary, Indiana, and Mississippi, and Pittsburgh. Asher Roth from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. You feel me? Those things always gave me hope, and it made me like thrive and go get it more. Cause I'm like, Wiz is doing it. So it's not a reason. That's not an excuse.
Word.
You feel me?
Okay, it makes it a little bit more tangible.
It makes it tangible. Yeah. He's doing it. You know, he's doing it. Let's say his cosign wasn't Jay, his cosign wasn't Jeezy or Lil Wayne, but his cosign was we.
And that's just, name me one race don't smoke bud.
What a cosign. He's still getting co-signed by it. Feel me? Or J. Cole don't need Jay-Z no more. It would be great, but he don't have to call him. Wiz still got the tree.
Yeah.
He still got that tree. And it's universal. It connected him to Method Man and Redman. It connected him to Snoop Dogg. It connected him to people and pioneers, Cypress Hill, that he really had no actual connection with because he's from Pittsburgh. But he had the biggest cosign.
Yeah.
The big dog, the big homie, the big homie. Literally, Dr. Dre. Yeah, Dr. Dre named his classic after the big homie.
Yeah.
So he didn't need Dr. Dre. He had Chronic.
100%.
And I feel like that is the one thing that like people need to understand in creating their own worlds and creating their own culture is, you know, me, I had video games, comic books, the nerd culture, even the black nerd culture, where it's like, whoa, you know, the white dudes are like, yo, I fuck with that. Did he just do a Lost reference? Did he just do an Office reference? Is that a Chrono Trigger reference? Whoa, the white dudes loved it. But the black dudes that were nerds, the Iranian dudes, the Mexican dudes, the Puerto Rican, Dominican cats who were like, damn, nobody from my culture ever talked about this. That's where I was
you help the unseen be seen.
That's it.
The square.
That's square.
How ill is it like now as you as you're a grown ass man, adult contemporary space, like how ill is it to see your fans grow with you?
The biggest accomplishment to me is the fan base that I've created and the fan base that I've not only attained but sustained throughout the years, because a lot of artists I came up with during that blog era, Chitty Bang, for instance, Mike Posner, for instance, they had hit records that attained their fans. And when you get hit record fans, those are, you know, fickle. Those are not real. You know, you see it with Tommy Richmond right now. You see it, I mean, there's people, I'll just be like, oh shit, I forgot about that song. You know, and that happens in music, not even hip hop, that happens in music all the time. So to be able to still thrive as an artist in Wichita, from Wichita, never left Wichita, and still be able to, you know, I was in Atlanta and to be spotted while I'm waiting for a flight, like, yo, UXV? And I'm like, that's crazy. Bro, I'm sitting here waiting on a standby flight, just like you. This is regular to me. But the passion that I've created in fans for my music without having a Jay, without having a Nicki, man, that is the biggest accomplishment to me. It's 100%. The biggest accomplishment because I can go to my grave with that. I'm good with that. I'm good with being able to say that not only did I grow up with a few artists, but a few artists grew up with me.
Facts. You know, I always tell Chris Barnett this, and I got to share with you as well. Like, y'all both made it cool to be you. Where we from? Right? Like, I tell Chris all the time, like, him putting his family in the music, like, you embracing, like, yo, I'm a nerd. I'm a regular dude that raps really good. Right? That's like, in a city that's mob music. I was at the time South Dallas swag and all that. You feel me? Like, it gave me that, like, okay, I'm gonna tell these niggas I'm him. Like, who's gonna tell me different? Right? But kind of going back to the longevity. I was watching and I'm forgetting the name of the show now, but DJ Head, Jeremy, and Eddie Wilson.
The bigger picture.
Right? And I hear the shout out to XV on there. Like, how is it ever surreal? Like, cause listening to the album, I never, of course, I don't talk to you every day, right? But I never knew you had any of those feelings of like, yo, I ain't doing enough. I'm not where I want to be. Like, cause from the outside looking in,
you like, oh, he's good.
He's on these fucking video games. He's on a commercial. Like, he signed Warner Brothers. He got Schoolboy Q
all the way.
Like, all the way. How wild is that to see, like, still the blog era respected? Because that's the new blog, essentially.
It is podcast. That's why I'm glad to be here. It really is, because this is the new blog. Man, bro, when things like that happen, I remember seeing Bootleg Kev talking to Rory on his podcast, and he's like, you know what that reminds me of? You remember XV? He's like, oh yeah, love XV. Those moments trip me out because, like I said, I'm still a dude from Wichita, in Wichita, never left Wichita. So it's kind of crazy to me when I see not only a dude that I respect from the industry, but a dude who doesn't, communicate with me every day, who doesn't see me every day, like Bootleg Kev, bring me up in conversation on a podcast at that to another person. That person like highlights, oh yeah, I remember him. I remember him. What happened to him? It's like, man, he's still doing his thing. He's actually dropping a new album and basically highlighting what I'm doing. That's bro, when I say that is such a blessing to me, and what's crazy is Jeremy Heck is actually on my album.
I heard him
You
on
can hear
what
him.
is it?
You know that voice.
I know the voice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
CDR.
He's
CDR?
at the end of CDR.
Okay.
Look, like you just hear him talking because it's basically the interludes between it. And so the actor Jermaine Fowler from
I just watched The Blackening.
Yes, The Blackening. Yes, he's one of the voices on there. He's the one that's like kind of good, but could have been better. That's Jermaine. I got Jeremy Hecht on there. I have Jack Harlow says a few things on there. So I like hid people who are like friends, but also like industry powerhouses now. And that's so dope to me because all of them, Jermaine, Jeremy, Bootleg Kev, even Jack Harlow, they all came up in the blog era. 100%. So it wasn't about me being like, yo, I want to get Jeremy on here because he's blowing up. Yeah, I want to get Jermaine on here because he's doing. No, the reason I'm getting you on here is because you were one of the commenters.
100%.
You were one of the dudes saying, man, and
real life.
Let me bring y'all on over into my world. So that's where I will say I did do a little world building, but it wasn't world building. It was just like memorialization. It was a memorial. You know what I mean? So it was just like, let's honor that. That's why I put Mickey Fax at the beginning. He's the eulogy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the, everybody come in. This is the blog era.
And the wordplay on that was crazy. That makes me ask the question then, like
pigeons and planes. Crazy. That right, like crazy.
Is this you grieving the blog era?
Oh yeah,
completely, like
completely. Because like I'm not grieving the moments. I feel like that's kind of what was one of the things that held me back in my like return to getting on the mic was I was grieving moments and I was grieving maybe even grieving, like you break up with something or you lose something, you go, what if we just had 2 more years together? What if, and so I feel like that is sometimes denial when you're grieving. It's part of the steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's part of denial. And acceptance is when you recognize that it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And you recognize that it played a part in your life, but it's not there anymore. And you have to recognize that and accept that and come to terms with that. This is me not grieving it. It's me coming to terms with it so that I can move on. Because on the other projects, it was like if you go listen to the first song on Soil, Been Dreaming. And I'm talking about what I've been dreaming of. Oops, I've been dreaming of. And I'm talking about what I've been dreaming is missed opportunities. It's losses. It's the things that have been battling in my spirit, where it's like this, I'm not battling anymore. Like when they say just put your hands up and just let go
and let God.
Let God.
100%.
There you go.
Wow.
And I was just like, it's almost, the waves are going to take me where I need to go. I don't need to, I've been paddling forever, going nowhere. Paddling. And I'm like, all right, bro. And it took, me making a project that I felt like this one has to be the one. That's what really pushed me to making it. Like I took 2 years on this album.
Yeah.
2 whole years. We dropped Quran Butler in 2022.
I peeped that.
And then 2023, we dropped a bunch of singles. And then 2024, we were like, yo, are we dropping this album? Because we have to drop this. But I couldn't get shared trauma done. I didn't feel like the story was complete. This isn't the whole story. This isn't acceptance yet. This is like, I'm still go battling. I'm still battling. I need to finish it. And that's why I feel like shared trauma and treasure chest. And just even the conversations that me and Mike were having during it were us coming to terms and seeing the Jeremy Hex come out and the even like Consequence shouted me out the other day. Like he brought up somebody brought me up to him like, oh, because me and Consequence, we did a freestyle back in the day in Vegas. And Bootleg Kev brought that up to him. He was like, man, the first time I interviewed you was with XV here. And he was like, man, I remember that. And Consequence remembered the whole show because me and him stayed in a hotel together, talked all night, went to dinner together. We hung out that whole day. And so me and Consequence had a moment there. So when he brought that up to him, Consequence remembered automatically. He was like, man, shout out to XV, man, wherever you are, bro. Shout out to you. So shout out to you, Consequence, wherever you are, bro. Love the new album. Yes.
That leads me to another question, like the industry. Like, did you, because you, to my understanding, I know you got Warner Brothers, then Warner Brothers folded, like their whole urban situation.
The whole urban situation folded. And I ended up moving to Atlantic. But imagine working, you know, at like Nola's Pizza, right? Let's say you're working at Nola's Pizza and you've been working at Nola's Pizza for 5 years. And then Nola's Pizza folds and becomes Johnny's Pizzeria. But the boss leaves, management leaves, administration leaves, and Johnny's Pizzeria comes in, and we want to keep you, but we have a whole new staff. You have to basically get acquainted again. You have to even do one question: do I even want to work for Johnny's Pizzeria? You all have a whole new sauce, a whole new way of doing things. You all have a new counter, a new machine that we're using, recipes, everything's different. And I have to basically reacquaint myself. I'm restarting with everyone. So everything I did here, out of here at Nola's for, 4 years and flipping, I have great customers here that know me, but none of that matters.
And they got their guy that's next up.
Yeah, that's their guy. They brought him in. And so I was dealing with that in the industry way. And like I said, ego, pride, cancer. Them emails, the computers were putin. And I have an email I remember sending out to Atlantic and be like, do y'all even know who I am? You know what I mean? They're like, no, we actually don't. But we would like to get like familiar with you.
Like,
fuck you.
You was on some yay type shit.
Yeah, because I'm like y'all don't have, y'all are just jobs. You all are just jobs.
And I think that's what people don't realize about the industry.
Yeah, it's jobs. These are people with college degrees, trying to pay a fucking mortgage and a car payment. The last thing on their mind, I ain't gonna hold you, is getting you a platinum plaque. It would be great. But I gotta put food on the table now.
Today.
Now. And how do people in that industry put food on the table? A signing artist, an artist that they sign blows up overnight, because you blow up the speed I'm blowing up. You got to be the manager or the what do you call it? The booking agent, or you have to be something that matters to that artist in order for a 5-year, career building to affect your pockets. 100%. You got to be one of them. Labels don't care about that. They want a whiz. They want a black and yellow right now.
Right now. Well, I see you again today.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
So I think the illest thing about that, like especially being ground level at the crib. As a, I don't even like the term local artist, but I was a local artist at the time, right? And you hear so many artists with like such a disdain for XB. He don't come back to the city. He don't do it, and the third. It's like, fam, like, people are people. Situations are situations. I always think to like I like WWE. I don't watch it as much now. But I like the video game. Right. And you got to fight your way to the top. It's like, okay, I done got to this space. Now I got to get to this space. It's like, yo, the same way us collectively are trying to get to this space, he's at this space trying to get to, so. What did it ever feel ill to you, like to see the hate from home?
Oh, ill.
Word.
I think the craziest thing to me was just that I always looked at it from a local artist perspective. So as a local artist, I always wondered, like, why would people from my city who are from my city, like going through the same thing I'm going through, but I'm not gone. So I feel it. I know that there's no clubs here playing local music. I know that there's no radio here supporting local music. So like, how can y'all be from where I'm from and go through have the same resources I have and be mad? If I was you, I would be ecstatic
Yeah.
that one person, just one, is cracking that door open. Man, I'd be behind me pushing. And so it always pushed me to like, I never ever felt like disdain for the city. I never ever felt like that ego and pride I had. I never ever let that boil over into the local scene. Because for one, I'm, like you said, I'm on another tier fighting a whole nother caliber.
Yeah.
And so because I'm on that tier, I have empathy for the tier behind me because I was just on that tier. And so I know how hard it was to fight my way out of that tier. So I wouldn't ever want to become a villain or a boss for y'all to fight.
Yeah.
To get to the next tier. I never would want to be that because I'm genuinely fighting for the next spot. So why would I go backwards?
100%.
Why would I? That would be like me basically capping myself off at being the top of this tier. And now you all got to get through me. And I'm going to be honest. My biggest problem with the local scene that came before me, the Twan Sachs, the Big Face, the No Coast, Gator Maid, ASO.
Shout out to Noise.
Yeah, the Noise is all of them had a me first mentality. You know what I mean? I genuinely was in it, so I know it. I used to take my CDs up to Justice Fashions, and so I heard
Jeep out there.
Yeah, I heard the talks.
Yeah,
I knew Worldwide didn't want Gator Maid to win before they won. I knew Gator Maid didn't want Big Face to win before they won. It was this me first because nobody had broke through the door yet.
Word.
And so I was always hopeful that somebody did because, like I said, I would have been behind them pushing, right? But I knew that once I got to where I was at, I always knew like I had to keep it very humble and keep it very demure, very mindful, because I was like, man, if the dogs that had that were running this block before me got the position I was in, man, they would be throwing it in the city's face.
Yeah.
They would be making sure everybody knows that, man, I'm 3,000 for a verse. You know who I don't work with? I don't work with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Wiz Khalifa. Man, my verse is 3,000.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. And I'm like, I just could never see it from that perspective. That's where the everybody's nobody came from. Because I'm like, everybody's nobody to somebody. So
it's one
no
of my
matter
favorite
what,
sayings, by the way.
It's true.
It's such a true statement.
It's true. Man, bro, it's no lie. I've been places and I've been like, yeah, I've done a song with, let's say a name like, who's someone big? Like, I remember when I worked with Jack Harlow, and Jack Harlow was, didn't have What's Popping yet.
Okay.
And I'm like, this dude, Jack Harlow's crazy. Even when Jack Harlow had What's Popping, I'm like, I haven't heard of him. Nope, ever heard of him. Everybody's nobody to somebody.
100%.
So I've always thought, man, it's crazy that nobody looks at it like just, I was an opener for the door, and there's so many people behind me. I just want to hold this door open. That's genuinely my mind state now.
Wow.
I just know, bro, blog era ended 2014. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
In those 10 years, with the new SoundCloud, there was no rapper from Wichita who blew up in the SoundCloud era. I wish. There was no rapper who blew up during the streaming era. I wish. Because guess what? I wouldn't need any backing. I could just be like, yo, y'all know Buddy from from that song?
Yeah.
He's from my town. And people go, what? So-and-so's from Wichita? Where are you from? Man, y'all need a song together. Now XV's back on.
Easy.
ESTG had, fuck that. Jack Harlow had that with Bryson Tiller. When I saw that, I was like, man, That's a blessing. Mac Miller had that with Wiz.
Yeah.
That's a blessing
100%.
to be able to go. I mean, Big Crit, we can say what we want about Mississippi. He still had David Banner.
Factuals.
No matter what. I wish we had a David Banner. So I'd rather just become David Banner. David Banner is not the biggest fucking down south rapper. He's not the king of Mississippi, but he definitely was someone who put that door stop there.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it was like, all right, who else is coming? Who else is I'm holding it. 100%. Who else is coming? That's where I'm at right now. And I was just talking to someone today, and I was like, man, when I do a festival, that's what I want to show. I want to do a festival here that brings not only my Squarians from the city together, but Squarians all over the world to Wichita.
I love that.
And then when they come to Wichita, they like, who else y'all got? And I'm like, him. And they're like, yo, Hippie K is crazy.
I seen.
Oh shit, yeah, up with Hippie K. You know, Blake Warrior's crazy. Yo, Caleb Carnell's crazy. So I just want so many different types of music to be able to be seen. Cause like when I'm saying Caleb Carnell, when I'm saying Hippie K, when I'm saying June MP3, when I'm saying Skinny Chip Yaddy, or even the classics like you know, Smooth, You, Freddie. When I'm saying those names, I even feel like there is an opportunity for a whole nother world of fans that aren't mine to latch on to them and go, wait, he's from where XV's from? Like, I heard of XV, but I just never got into him. But this nigga, June MP3, is crazy.
He's different, by the way.
And that's what I want. I want them to be like, man, I'm listening to this dude. And they're like, I want people to find me on those projects the way I found, you know, Kendrick Lamar on a Ab Soul project, or Schoolboy Q on Kendrick Lamar.
Schoolboy Q on
A$AP Rocky's. Yep.
Now that's one of my favorite
A$AP Rocky songs. What?
That too.
For real. Yep.
Let me ask this. So you talk about the pride and the ego that you had while in the industry. The industry is still the industry, but while on that side of the industry, what humbled you to move yourself from that ego?
Reading, bro. When I went through like this massive depression, and my depression was really sustained. If you listen to Shared Trauma, that's what I'm talking about. In fact, even before Shared Trauma, I have a song called Giving Up Song on my EP called Day Ones. Giving Up Song, you would think it was about me giving up music, but it's actually me going through miscarriages with my wife. And it's about me giving up on trying. And that song that I made, I was in deep depression. But even years before that, I had gone through depression. And when I was going through that depression, I was like, I'm always a person who gotta just figure it out. Like, whatever it is, I gotta figure it out. I'm not gonna just sit here and deal with, like, just let it hit me. Like if you throwing the punch and I wasn't ready, we scrapping after this. We scrapping. Whoa. Nope. My mind literally turns into figure it out mode. Figure it out. And so I was pretty much just going through this loss of my crib and living with my brother, and like just like trying to watch the game from the outside. You know, I mean, I equated to when Derrick Rose, because at the same time this happened, Derrick Rose got his ACL injury. Same exact time. Me and Derrick Rose's like trajectory so similar. During the blog,
so why Caron Butler instead of Derrick? See, now we jump all over.
I love it. The reason why Caron Butler and not Derrick Rose is because Derrick Rose went out there and dropped 50 while I was doing nothing. I was like, now that's doing nothing. And I was like, that kind of shit inspired me. I remember when he dropped that 50 in Minnesota, and it just gave me like, because I'm like, you know, as much as I'm a Bulls fan, that's what made me a Derrick Rose fan.
Yeah.
I was like, Timberwolves for me from here, because he dropped that 50 and they respected him. And I was like, he can come back. It gave me hope. You feel me?
Yeah.
When I was going through the issues I was dealing with, and I was seeing Derrick Rose dealing with what he was dealing with, I was like, man, I just need to like tap into something. I remember watching Nipsey Hussle, R.I.P. my nigga. He did a Breakfast Club where he named like books that he was into. It's a classic Breakfast Club now.
Yeah.
And he named, I mean, so many books.
That's why that interview is why I read The Way of the Superior Man, at least
Way of the
supportive.
Superior Man, gotta read that.
Yeah.
Gotta read that. That got me out of ego, for sure. That got me out of feelings. That got me out of my way.
Word.
Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success.
Okay.
Great book that I remember the first chapter was I'm tired. And that's how it starts. That's how it starts. That was the first chapter. I'm tired, because it was like, you can't read this book unless you're here.
Word.
So he was like, if you're not here, then this book's not even for you, or just go to the next chapter, because you got to start here. You got to understand you're tired and you're ready to change something about yourself. When I saw that, and then Black Privilege by Charlemagne, that was the next one, because then that made me realize my power.
Yeah.
Like Charlemagne, the Gods of Cancer, like myself. So I read that, reading like, let me read what a Cancer did. Let me see what someone who has some of the same skill sets and same power moves that I had, what did they do? And when I read that, I was like, wow, he like broke it down for like I remember one of the chapters was about like, basically, stop thinking that you don't belong at this table. Stop thinking that this table that's set, you don't have a chair to pull up to it. Like, I remember Madam C.J. Walker quote that says, if they didn't bring a chair to it, make your own.
Word.
You know what I mean? I'm going to always find that way now. But that book put that in me. I didn't have that before. And during that depression, I didn't know nothing about astrology yet. I just learned it. But I was learning it and reading it. And that also possibly like helped onset the depression. Because when I read, I thought, oh my God, I just like upped my career up. Because I read all these things about a Cancer, and it broke down like how cancers move. And I was like, oh my God. Because like I said,
you've seen yourself. Mirror like.
I seen it like Zenith.
He was on the mirror's edge.
Yes, on the mirror's edge, for real.
I was
leaning, and I was like, damn, I have to activate this new thing in me. In those books, it just reading, now it's like my go-to. Now, like, I read Mastery of Love the way you read Way of the Superior Man. I read Mastery of Love almost once a quarter. It's this big of a book. It takes 2.5 hours to read.
Is that Robert Greene or Don Miguel Ruiz?
No, it's Don Miguel Ruiz.
4 Agreements.
Yes, 4 Agreements.
Okay.
Yep. And that's the Toltec thought is my whole shit, ancient theory. I feel like going back to astrology, ancient theory, going back to Toltec, any ancient theory, I just feel like it's God in it.
Yeah.
Because there was a point in time where we didn't have all of these man-made focuses. We had gathering, hunting, and the sky.
Word.
That's all we had. And I feel like when you go back to that theory and that mind state, it opens the door for like ultimate creativity, because you're not like boggled down by the politics of the day. You're not boggled down by like the news and the views.
I was just thinking the other day, but this morning, I've been thinking about it a lot. How people talk about manufactured distractions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I believe some conspiracy theories, some are manufactured.
All the way.
I'm like, everything is a distraction if you let it be.
Everything.
Like
everything.
And the trick is
you can manufacture it.
You feel me?
It don't even got to be out there being created for you. You can manufacture the distraction yourself. 100%. Dopamine is a non-manufactured distraction, but we manufacture that. Some people are out for dopamine hits every day. Whether it's validation, whether it's porn, video games, music, sweets, anything. Just that hit is a distraction that I think that the world is consumed by now.
And it takes you so far off your purpose.
Man, so far. And I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I look at the world now as it's easy, because there's so many people distracted. So many people distracted. So it's easy to get caught up in the mind state of being like, man, it's hard to blow up now because there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
It's hard to make somebody just listen to an album for an hour.
Facts.
An hour, shit. 7 minutes.
Facts.
It's hard because there's so many distractions. But I feel like that there's a beauty in like artists who can like showcase that distraction isn't hitting them. And so people follow it and they get into it. That's why I feel like Tyler, the Creator, is able to do what he does with the fans he has. You know, they're not focused on the minutia of the industry. They care about the artists they care about, and that's it. And I think that's what people forget, that is the power. And so I look at it like, man, the fact that everybody's distracted is a good thing for me, because I know how to not only make people look, but I also know that I'm not going to be distracted, because I know I'm not shooting to be distracted. I'm shooting to distract.
Bars.
Man. Man.
All right, let me ask this last question before we part, because we talk forever.
Don't worry, I'm gonna bring you on to mine.
Say lesser.
I'm gonna bring you on to mine.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you on to mine, and we're gonna continue the conversation.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, question I love to ask is, so it's perfect actually. It's 2024 right now. Blog air 2014.
Yeah.
What would you tell XV? Fuck that. What would you tell Donovan 10 years ago?
Man. Woo. So many things. I wish I could sit that down. I wish I could just like, the thing I would tell him the most is probably, because I've always known it's not going to happen when I want it to happen. The life has taught me that. But I think I would tell Donovan that as much as you fear that it's not going to happen, and as much as you try to take control of it happening, you need to put your hands up and let go. You need to let go of that steering wheel just for a minute. And I would tell him, like, as much as you fear letting go of that steering wheel, you're going to be all right. You're going to be good. I promise you, you're going to be good. Because I think that what's made me hold that steering wheel so tight is thinking, I'm not going to be okay. I'm not going to be okay.
Fear.
Yeah, fear. And fear is the opposite of love. It's the complete opposite of love. And when you're working from a mind state of fear, then you can't work from a mind state of love. Fear is literally the opposite. So it's like working from a mind state of hate. You know, if I'm going in every day, like, I hate my job. I hate these people. I hate what I do. I hate what I'm around. I hate the lights. I hate the scenery.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. No.
I'm a hater.
Real life, yeah.
So it's harder to love. Because your mindset is so focused on this. And so same thing with fear. Because hate is just a mask of fear. This is all from Toltec, but it genuinely, fear has the mask for hate. It has the mask for greed, has the mask for jealousy. All of that is fake. Jealousy is fear. Fear that they're going to take it from you. Fear that you're not going to get it if they get it. Fear that they won't love me. Fear that whatever it is, it's all fear. Right? Yeah. Even hate is fear. Because what do you hate? And most of the things you hate is things that you fear. Yeah. You know, I fear what, people like right now, especially with the election.
The election right now is wild.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Why do you hate her? Why do you hate him?
Yeah.
Because I fear what they're gonna do. And so it creates, you take that fear mask off and you put the hate mask on, like, nah, I hate it. And I think that when you operate from the track of love doesn't have no mask. There's no other thing.
It's the most vulnerable place you could ever be in.
Yeah. There's the mask of, like, joy isn't a mask for love. Joy is just a after effect of love. But love is this like intangible thing that everybody wants. Everybody 100%. Wants it. It's what creates more fear, right? Yeah. Because, what if you don't love me? What if you don't love me forever? What if you love them more than you love me. Love can create fear.
Yeah.
So just operating from a track of love was hard for me. And so when I was always operating from that track of fear and driving with fear in mind, I never could enjoy anything. I couldn't enjoy, you know, Dizzy Wright hit me yesterday. I couldn't be back. I ain't gonna hold you. The old me would be like, almost have like this certain disdain of like, I don't know. I can put it like this. The old me was very much like this. I would think, man, they're only hitting me because they're in Wichita, but they could have hit me anytime. And and don't hit me when you're here, and you ain't hitting me for no reason. But this almost trying to like create a story of other people's thoughts.
100%.
And you can't know what is in other people. I love that about the mastery of love that teaches you, like, no matter how much you love your mom, you'll never know her.
Yeah.
You'll never know her. You'll never know her dreams, her fears, her thoughts. She can talk to you about them all day, but you'll never know all of them.
Yeah.
She will.
That's a conversation I had in therapy just yesterday.
Yeah. It's the realest thing, because sometimes, you know, people get caught up in like, I thought I knew you. I thought I knew who you were, and you were a lie to me. And it's like, no, that's something maybe you made up in your head of who I was.
Yeah.
You could never, ever know that person. You can only love that person. And so yeah, it starts with self.
100%.
Right? And so, like, it was more so me understanding, like, damn, bro, you got to love all of it. You got to love who you are. You got to love the presence that you bring to the world. Fuck the presence you bring to the hip hop game.
Yeah.
What's the presence that you bring to your family? What's the presence you bring to your kids? What's the presence that you bring to your friends? Because I promise you, there's a lot of people in very, very different spaces, from art to film to music to corporate, that are in great high spaces, like the man in the tower, but they alone or isolated. Because you're in fear of somebody coming in and taking it.
Yeah.
I can't even keep my loved ones around because I'm afraid of what they're gonna ask me. I'm afraid of them, of what they're gonna ask me for. So I don't even keep them around. So you're just here by yourself. And I never want to operate from that space, but I easily was headed that direction. Like, for real, if the old 2012 signed to Warner XB got everything he dreamed, me and you ain't talking right now. I'm not even holding you, because I'm not able to get the lessons that God had ready for me. And I want to be able to sit here and be like, bro, like, I'm happy, you know, I'm happy, like, where I'm at in life. I'm happy where like, when you asked that question at the beginning, you know, how's your spirit? And I'm able to genuinely, transparently say, man, it's good. And not be like, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Because this album ain't doing what I thought it was going to do. You know, I should be on tour right now. All of these things are true feelings, but it's not what I feel. You know what I mean? Somebody probably feels that way about their project, but I don't feel that way because of the genuine journey that brought me to this path of being like, bro, I'm thankful for 3,000 fans to just listen. I'm thankful for that. So I'll take 126. I'll take 126,000.
Word.
I'm happy because I got to put out what I felt like was something that I feel proud of, something that I will always listen to. Like, I'll listen to it on the way here.
Word.
You know what I mean? There's times I'll be like, I'll listen to a new album, like, this is hard. Now let me listen to mine. I love that. But I haven't done that in a minute.
That's a crazy, because you made it for you.
Yeah.
In purpose, on purpose. I think that's the illest thing about, I always say it's the last question.
Purpose and on purpose.
The illest thing about purpose is, like, it don't got nothing to do with nobody but you.
That's it.
It might impact the world around you. But it's like, yo, if you didn't go through your journey, then the conversation we having now, the conversation you have with other people, the humility that you face, right?
That part.
That's part of that purpose.
That part.
Like, that's.
Yeah.
That's ill to think about.
Yeah,
That's
bro.
ill to recognize.
Yeah, bro.
It takes growth. It takes grown men,
Mm-hmm.
right? It takes a strong woman by your side,
All of that
to be like, need to look.
Yeah,
right? Like,
because that woman definitely has to be strong to understand all of the dynamics that that man goes through when he's dealing with, especially so many different circles, and so it takes someone who's very not only empathetic and understanding, but strong.
yes,
Strong meaning the things that hurt you may hurt them, but they're ready to fight them with you, and that keeps you strong. You know what I mean? You ever get into a fight with a homie who can't fight? Because I've been in a situation like you can't jump, and the homie can't fight, but he is putting up a fight,
word.
and so it make you fight harder. Like, bro, you doing things you ain't never thought of. You jumping.
Yeah.
Man, I've been in so many situations where it's like, bro, I look over and I see the homie, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Jumping into action.
I gotta go hard because
I gotta go hard because you going hard. You want a woman that fights like that.
100%.
Yeah, I mean.
Ooh. Okay, last question, and I'm gonna shut the hell up. How ill is it when you in music, when you're reflecting on your life and it involves others? So involving your wife, you're in a conversation, sharing y'all trauma with the world.
Yeah.
Is that a tough conversation to be like, boo,
Always.
I'm creating this,
bro. Always. Just because you can you know how you can have a conversation with somebody and almost give yourself away and go, like the person starts looking at you and you feel like you being vulnerable, but they thinking, let's go back to that thing you just said. So wait, you think I'm what?
Yeah.
How long you been thinking that about me? You're also showing a vulnerability sometimes in those songs and in that music that they're like, is that what you think? Is that what you think you were doing? Is that what you think I felt?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something.
You tearing, you ripping that scab that's healed.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you have to be ready to open that wound up again and deal with all that's in there. And so it takes like just being confident in knowing your purpose and being confident in knowing that like your love outweighs all of the words, the meaning, like, because what did you mean by that? It's like, I didn't mean nothing but love.
Word.
And so when you're it's definitely hard when you're having those conversations and I've been doing that my whole life. I did a song, I did a song Father Figure on my first album called The Legacy. If you have this, you are a legend. It is my first album. I was 16 years old, but on that album, I have a song called Father Figure where I literally talk to my dad like, you were supposed to be this, you were supposed to be that, you were supposed to be this, you were supposed to be that, and you weren't none of that. You were supposed to be my father figure. I was 16 when I made that, and I remember like sending that album to my dad. I'm like, here we go. And sometimes those conversations are hard.
Yeah.
My mom hearing pictures on my wall and going, damn, Donovan, I didn't think you were going to ever talk about that situation. Sometimes people put things out of their mind like, we don't want to talk about that no more. And it's like, oh shit, you made a whole song about that moment. Oh shit, we got to face that now. And so sometimes it's revealing because now we can talk about it, but sometimes it's therapeutic.
Word.
Because now you're able to break that wall down and have that open conversation. And so that's what it really did. This whole album, it became like me and Seven's friendship rebuilt from this. I did most of the album bouncing back and forth from Wichita to LA while he was living in LA. And so he was going through a transitional period and I got to go out there, kick it with him, and our friendship just built into this thing that I feel like the next project, which is crazy. We've already started on it. 3 songs in. Probably gonna drop when this drops.
Okay.
Like,
say word. Yeah, like that.
That's
I
how
like
we're
that.
talking. It allowed us to be like, yo, I think we got our groove back, bro. Like when the relationship starts being like fun again.
Yeah.
Like all of those small arguments now, like that turn into big arguments, they remain small and minimal.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, we're getting back to our groove.
Flow state.
Yeah. Flow state is the best state. For real. I try to stay in a flow state. And that's why I love this conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's a flow state. And it allows people to just be like gather the information in a flow state. So I hope you were smoking one and enjoying this. You know what I mean? Like a gentleman.
100%. Yes, indeed. All right, I'm part on this for real, for real. I remember, and I'll bring it up to Freddie. I brought it up to like twice because that's one of my bestest friends in the world.
Yeah.
And you know the history that we've had collably, right? I remember, I think it was like a Royalty City Volume 2, maybe.
Definitely.
And this is when I knew, I was like, oh, these niggas is taking off.
Yeah.
Right? There was a diss song that had
it was mixtape era.
It was mixtape era, right?
Always.
It was a diss song, but I think it was Who Kid did it was Against Me. And he did like the out.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, no, that's Brandon Kelly.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
oh,
that was Who Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, these niggas is taking off.
Yeah.
Like
that was Royalty City Volume 2.
Royalty City Volume 2.
That's the project that got me connected with 7.
That's ill. So to just think to where we are now, and this is grown men, right? And the conversations that we have in
that was like 20 years ago.
Bro.
It was 20 years ago.
I'm battling, getting kicked out the mall, battling on each other.
Yes.
Right? Like and like those type of things to me are like, what do you call it? Like nexus events.
100%. 100.
Right? Like, and it's so ill, bro. So like
for real, especially for the town.
You feel me?
For real. For real. There's people to this day who be like, you know, literally like, my boy, yo, you had me out there handing out CDs in the King of the City shirt, bro. You just was like, here, made us your street team.
Yeah.
Nexus events, bro. Like man, I'm so appreciative of those because I feel like all of those things, it created me, you, me, Win, me, Brandon Kelly. You know, some of the like I remember Brandon saying this, like XV really had the Avengers back in the day. Like, bro,
100%.
Young Avengers.
100%.
Young Avengers, because I feel like that era we sharpened each other's swords so much so, and it came from us just being like very driven.
Yeah.
You know, and we still have that.
Still have it.
Like,
and
obviously
it's ill to now be walking on purpose with
it. Man, all the way. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Like, I think that's the thing that we're supposed to show the next generation of Wichita, the next generation of the Midwest. You know, because I genuinely feel like, and no disrespect to no other cities, no other states, but I feel like Wichita, Kansas has the best opportunity to, you know, we don't think that this will ever become like a hip hop state, but it has the best opportunity for artists to break through, the best. And I'm telling y'all, quit playing with me, because I've laid the fucking foundation for niggas to be they self. Quit playing with yourself and be yourself for real, because I've laid the foundation. That's the illest thing. And I think that all the people who won from this city, from the beginning all the way up to Barry Sanders, is because they were themselves. They didn't let the politics and the culture and the idea of what Kansas is and the idea of what Wichita is hold them back to being like, nah, I can only do this. They only like this, so I got to do that. Man, if Outkast thought like that, there wouldn't be Earth Gang.
Come on.
You feel me?
100%.
So quit playing with yourself. Be yourself. I'm not going to tell y'all.
Hey, that's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Listen, X, I love you, bro.
I love you too.
I appreciate you for real. Up.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes.
This was supposed to happen after the album, because this was legendary.
I'm prayerful, hopeful, and confident that everything that's yours, you continuing to go good, and it's meeting you halfway.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yes,
that's
sir.
The mission.
Yes, sir.
Loved ones, has been Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David, with my special guest, XV. Oh man, this was great. We out.
Look both ways when you cross that street. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Measure twice, but cut once. Love life, live it up, bruh. Dream is good, do the work too. There ain't nothing you can't work through, and there ain't nothing I can't handle. There ain't nothing I can't handle. I look to the sky, and I thank God that I'm alive. I look to my wife, And I thank God she by my side. I've been through a lot, but I survived. It weighs on my heart from time to time, but there ain't nothing I can't handle.